Hello, I'd like to do a quick review of the Logitech c920 webcam. I upgraded from the c510, and actually we have two c510s, one at my home and one that I purchased for my parents. I live in South Korea, by the way, and my parents live in the United States, so we use the webcams a lot to chat. And we enjoyed it when Skype went to HD. And I thought I would purchase the Logitech c920 to get a more clear, crystal clear image as they advertised. It has a Carl Zeiss lens, and I was really excited about that. And I thought going to 1080p would make a huge difference in my Skype experience. Now, I want to tell you my experience with that and in my testing and everything else, what I've learned. First of all, going to 1080p in Skype will not give you a clearer picture over 720p on their lower level webcams, lower HD cams I should say. My c510 actually has a slightly clearer image, if you can believe it, over Skype. And there are several reasons for that, I believe. Number one, the c510 does not use compression within the camera. It uses the CPU of your computer to compress the signal, and I think it compresses it a little less. Someone who's a techie might want to look into that, but I really noticed a difference because the c920 actually shows some compression artifacts sometimes that the c510 does not. Now, the nice thing about the c920 though is that if you have a slower computer like a dual core Intel, it will work and will kick into HD mode where my c510 would not. But I found that with a quad-core AMD or Intel, I could get either camera to kick into HD just fine. But what I have noticed also is that when you go into the 1080p with the Logitech, this camera, the c920 does 1080p, the image is much larger. Okay, I have a larger area here up and down, side to side, that it's taking a picture of and recording. But with the c510, which is a 720p camera, you're zoomed in, and I want to say it's about this much space on either side, and a little less top and bottom. But you're a little closer to the lens then. Your face looks sharper and clearer because you're closer. The c920 actually puts you further back, and you can zoom in with the c920, but when you do that, you degrade the image. So I sat and looked at that and I thought, wow, I think for the average person or most people, unless they want a really wide area to show maybe 2 or 3 people, as you could see, you could line 3 people up here and get a nice image, and that would be nice for the c920. You can fit 2 in there though with the c510, for example, or one of the other 720p cameras, and be just fine. Or if you were shooting a big room or a classroom, this might be more of an advantage to have a c920. But honestly, the image is not clear over Skype. Actually, I noticed, as I said, it's a little less clear, and I think that's because of compression. Another thing you'll notice, look at the sides, and you'll notice some, I don't know if you want to call it fish-eyeing or pin cushioning right up in here in the corners. And that really, there's a distortion there. Look at my fingers, okay? You see that distortion? That's a serious distortion. Look at that. Look how huge my hands look. And I bring them down here, they're not quite so big. That is a problem with the c920 that I have read online is not a problem with the 910 model, the older model. So in that respect, it seems like the 920 is a step down. And I've also noticed around the corners you don't get as sharp of an image. I don't think it focuses well on the corners. So that is something to consider. Actually, if I were able to do it, I would love to trade my 920 for a c910, because I really think it's, from what I've seen on the web and looking around and reading reviews, the 910 has a better overall image. And you can look at the physical width of the c920 and compare it to the 910. And you can also look at the lenses, and you can see where the lens of the c920 is pushed more forward into the front of the glass. And to me, that means you're going to need more of a fisheye style lens to get a wide viewing area, and that's where you're going to get the distortions on the side. There's a wonderful video a man did on YouTube comparing the two cameras and he used a green screen in the background, and he cut that out using, I guess you'd call it chroma keying or matting, and was able to put video behind him, and he showed the differences between the 910 and the 920. But in doing that, he totally misses the pin cushioning or fisheyeing that really is a big difference in these two cameras. And also, if you watch his video, I can really see where the 910 seems to have better colors, and that's another issue I've read as well. The 920, someone said, has a 3 megapixel sensor, and the 910 has a 5 megapixel sensor. So they've been downgrading the camera actually. So I think what Logitech did was they tried to save some money. They downgraded the 910, which was a fabulous camera. They added some more software features to the 920, but in order to get the 1080p advertised whatever on Skype, honestly, it doesn't make a big difference, any at all, I think. In order to get that, I think they had to actually to lower the quality of the image overall to make that all squeeze in there and fit over Skype. So if I had the two to purchase, I would probably get the 910, to be honest. I just am not seeing the benefits. And I'm talking for Skype here. And you can make your own determination as for whatever your uses are. Another big thing is the camera doesn't rotate side to side. The 920 doesn't. And I really miss that, because when I'm sitting at my desk and not using the camera, I like to spin it out of the way. I could do that with my 510. I can't do it with the C920. And I heard the C910 will do that. So that's something to think about. Although the C920 does have a camera mount on it, if you care about that. I really don't, because I'm using it for Skype. Another thing, I have the right sound turned off. If I turn on the right sound, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, okay, now I'm talking with right sound on, and I feel like the sound with right sound clicked on is a lower quality. It defaults, when you install it, I believe it defaults as right sound on, and you have to go in and turn it off. So I suggest turning it off, because the dual mic stereo thing is kind of a gimmick in my mind. That's another thing I don't like about it. It's really a gimmick. If I turn off the right sound, there, I just turned it off, I feel I have a better overall quality sound. And by the way, I have an air conditioner up here in the ceiling, and that's why you're hearing some noise up there, and also a refrigerator on the side of the room. So please keep that in mind as well. Otherwise, overall, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in my purchase, and if I could take it back, the store I bought it from, to the store I bought it from, I honestly would, because I don't see it as a big enough upgrade over my old 510 that I had, and I probably would get the new. There's a 600 series model that has a Carl Zeiss lens and has just one microphone in it, which I think is fine. It actually sounds more frontal and clearer to me. I would rather have gotten that, and I just don't see the value in the C920 anymore. I think it's a downgrade from the 910. So I wanted to share those important points for you. Please look at Amazon.com for some reviews on this. And I added a few pictures as well of the different cameras and the images they made. And I know they're squeezed smaller on Amazon. I'm sorry about that. But you can see how wide of an area for a comparison over the same image the two cameras will make. So you can find that up there in the customer pictures. Okay? Thank you very much, and I hope this review was helpful for you. Bye-bye.